Hey, everybody. It is 3:31. I had to, for some reason, reload my live, but we're live. So hello, everybody. I'm so glad that you decided to join us today. If you are on here, I want to know who you are and where you are joining us from. I'm going to put that in the chat. All right, it's Sippin Sundays. If you are on, I would love to know where you are joining us from today. We got a lot to talk about, and we only have 28 more minutes. So I just want to give y'all a couple more minutes to join on, because I don't want anybody to miss anything. I don't need you to miss anything today. In the meantime, I had a contest. You or may not know. I had a contest. Hey, hi. I should. I had a contest for my Make Dollars Make Sense T-shirt that you see here, and I have announced a winner today. So thank you to everybody who was able to participate and throw your name in the hat for that contest. And so I look to do another contest quite soon. This time it might be for something different. I'm thinking about my book. It might not be. I don't know. It might be a free session, with me, whatever. I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be another contest. So thank you to everybody who was able to enter. And I'm so excited to be with you again. It is Sippin Sundays. So today I don't have my red cup today. I got a teacup. My mom was a little salty with me last time I had a red cup, one of them cups. And so she was like, you need to do better. So I'm sipping my tea today from an actual. All right. Anybody else want to tell us where you're joining from? Because we got a lot to talk about. Well, hello anyway. If you're a little shy, it's okay. The chat will be open the entire time today. So I'm excited. Today, we're going to start a series on savings. So if you were joining me last quarter, we discussed tithing. If you know me, you know that I'm a giver. I'm an avid giver. I'm big on giving to my local church. It is very important to me. But what I find is that wealthy people not only give to charitable organizations, but they also give to themselves. So this series will be about saving. So when I say pay yourself first, I don't mean take yourself to Ruth's Chris. I don't mean go have fun that weekend and go on a shopping spree. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is when I mean pay yourself first, what it truly means is that you are putting money away, dedicated money away into your savings account. Now, we'll discuss the where and the why in the months to come. But today, I want to talk about how. Yes, I want to talk about how to save today. And the reason why I think that is so important, especially with what we're dealing with right now within this COVID situation, we've got an opportunity, to be quite frank. I recognize that the stimulus is coming. If you received it, then great. I have not received mine. It's okay. I know it's coming. I'm not in a panic about it. Matter of fact, I think I got a little notice from my bank account saying it is pending. So there's that. But we'll talk about the limitations of the stimulus a little later. But I want to discuss some things about how we're going to save, especially during this time. And if you are able to continue to collect your full check, I'm so excited for you. If you're not able to collect your full check, I still want to give you some tips today, still on how to save. So tip number one, think about the things that you have been living without. If you know me, I am a Starbucks recovering addict. Yes, I was addicted to Starbucks. I went literally every day, 7 days a week, whether I worked, whether I did not work. I found a reason to get out that house so I can get to my local Starbucks. And when you do Starbucks, you can't just do little Starbucks. You got to do it big. You got to do it venti. You got to have the extra caramel. You got to have the extra whipped cream. And that's what I did. But I found later on, as I started to do a budget, and I did not cuss at you, The B word today is budget. But when I found that I did a budget, I found that what I said I was bringing in and what I said I was spending, the money left did not equate to the money that I saw in my bank account. And I had no idea why that was. So I had to really start to dig about what I was spending my money on. And I found that Starbucks was one of my Achilles heel. I also like to eat out, another Achilles heel. I was raised to eat out a lot. My dad was gone a lot based on his military career. My mom had 2 small children at home. Not a real big deal, or a big thing to cook at home, for a large family. This just wasn't us. So I was raised on eating out. So I thought when I got my own check, eating out wasn't going to be a thing. Not so much. But I found, though, that I was doing a lot of things that didn't do me any real good, didn't save for my future. So I'm sharing all this to say, right now, 2020, coronavirus is really hitting. And we, in the Virginia area, we're on lockdown. And basically what that means is that there's a whole bunch of stores that are not open. I mean, I could go through my local drive-through at, wherever establishment that I like. But the places that I would really like to go, like All American Steakhouse or Founding Farmers or Farmers, Fishers and Bakers in DC or Carolina Kitchen in Maryland, those things might not be open for me right now. So I found, though, that I can actually live without going to have a sit down meal somewhere and have a steak or, a fried pork chop at whatever I'm doing. Right. So I found that I could actually live without it. So with that being said, I encourage that you take an inventory of the things that you can live without. It's probably a real long inventory, but you can live without some things. And because now you're able to know that you can live without those things, I would recommend that post-corona, after we can come out from hibernation, if you will, make that a lifestyle for a little while. I'm not saying to have that as your, forever answer, but I would recommend that you consider making that a lifestyle for a while. You'll find that you'll actually save money. Guess what you're also not spending money on? A lot of you are having to celebrate right now. So you're not spending money on, commuting to work. You're not spending money on going out to lunch. And in the DMV, if you go out to lunch, I would be hard pressed for you not to spend at least $10 for lunch. I used to work in Crystal City and at the Pentagon and in the middle of DC. So, it very easily, you can spend $10 for lunch. And if those individuals at your job are driving you places like they were at mine, you need to get out and go to lunch. So a lot of times, I could easily spend $30 to $50 a week on just going out to lunch. So things that we can live without. You'll find that as you are living without some of those things, that you're actually seeing more money in your pocket. If you do, that's great. And so what you'll want to do is move those dollars into your savings. So that's one way that you can save during this time in Corona. The second thing is, I'd already talked about it just a hair, but that's stimulus. Now, some of you might not feel as though the stimulus is enough money. I can't really disagree with that. In this area, $1,200 is not going to pay a mortgage. It'll put something on it, but it definitely won't cover a mortgage. And in this area, it won't cover a full month's rent either. So I get it, I understand, and I hear you. But this could be an opportunity. So the second thing that I would recommend would be for you to collect that stimulus check and put it in your savings. So you might be wondering, well, you just said, Tina, it's not enough. Though that may be true, there's some other things that we may consider. You and I have both been watching TV enough to see some of these commercials, telling, people, customers, potential clients, we're in this with you. If you buy a car from us now, you won't have to make the first payment for 90 days. You're seeing all of these things. Well, guess what? You may be a customer of some of these agencies. Give your mortgage company a call. If you own a home, call the mortgage company and see if they are able to provide you with a waiver of some sort, or maybe even a payment plan. Now, I recognize that whether you have gotten, less of hours, and so your paycheck is less, or if you continue to get the same paycheck, I would still, regardless, still take advantage of this opportunity. especially if you don't have ample savings. What I mean by ample savings is 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So that includes your rent or mortgage, your car payment if you have one, your credit card, stuff, whether your electric bill. It includes a lot of things. So I want you to be able to use this time as an opportunity to actually build that savings. So, but call your mortgage company, call your credit card companies, see if they are able to waive your payments, waive the interest for 90 days, and also waive late fees. That's super important. So if they were able to do that, then I would absolutely take advantage of that. Also do the same with your car note. Now, I have clients who have taken this advice, and they've reported back to me that their car agencies or their mortgage, their credit cards are waiving payments, late fees, and interest for 30, 60, or 90 days. Could you imagine, like, if you have, a mortgage, what that would look like to not pay your mortgage for 90 days? And what if you save that money? I want you to fathom exactly how much money that could be. In my case, it's well over $6,000, for my mortgage to save, to not pay that for 90 days. That's a lot of money. And so that could really be the start of the foundation of your savings plan. So I would highly recommend, considering that. I also recommend that because, especially if you are still continuing to get your full income, we don't know how long this thing is going to last, and we don't know the ramifications from our employers. And so because of that, I think that's so important right now to make sure that you have enough in savings to where, as things go wrong, if things go wrong, you are absolutely positively prepared. So I just would prefer that you be more proactive than reactive. So give those agencies a call, see if they are able to do those things for you in, as far as a waiver or payment plan. And whatever they say, take the max, but whatever you would have spent on said items, put all of that into your savings, because the whole idea, again, is how to save, but the whole idea is making sure that you have enough in savings. As emergencies happen, as things happen, you are prepared. The third thing that I would recommend that you consider, so we talked about, finding things we can live without. My Starbucks thing, I just have to deal with it and drink my own tea from the house. But then also, calling your the agencies, your debt collectors, if you will, calling those, see if we can waive some fees and some payments and whatnot. But then I would also, number 3, give your utilities folks a call. See if they have, a budget plan that you can participate in. If you haven't done this already, I would recommend considering getting on a payment plan. That way, as you budget, there's that B word again. I promise I did not cuss at you. But when you budget, you're able to have a level electricity bill or a level gas bill. That way you can actually plan. So when you budget, you know exactly what's coming out. If you're anything like my household, our water bill skyrockets in the summertime because we have a sprinkler system in our yard. Our gas bill skyrockets during the wintertime because we're cold. So we want to be a little bit more warm and comfortable in our home. But with those peaks and valleys, it's eliminated because I've contacted those agencies to see if we can have just a level payment plan. And with that, I find that things are so much easier and I'm able to budget. If your utilities department does not have a budget plan, then I would recommend that you start one. Take, for instance, for my water bill, me personally, I am considering just putting $100 every month, that way I know when my water bill is $20 because we didn't use a whole lot of water, that particular month, especially, the wintertime. Maybe if my water bill is $20, maybe just pay $100 every month. And then that will help cover when my months get out of control, especially when we're trying to water our lawn, which it has a whole lot of weeds in it. That's an aside. But that is the third thing that I would recommend that you consider doing. So here are some things that we can do to save money. And so I'm so excited, about being able to share that with you. But I'd like to hear from you. Are there some other areas that you would like to save money on, or, you would, have a question for me. So I want to hush for just a few seconds just to see if there's anything that you have to ask for me. Please feel free to chat it right in the chat line. It is right there. Please feel free, because I want to make sure that when you are here for Sippin Sundays, you're not just watching me talk, you actually getting some value out of what we're talking about. So I'll just hush for a few seconds and see if there's anything that you would like to ask me. In the meantime, I'm going to sip my tea. How y'all doing today too? Are y'all staying Rona free? I'm gonna need y'all to stay Rona free. Make sure you have your masks on when you go outside. Make sure you've got your gloves on. I'm not, saying the people that are around you that are sick, when you go out, but I just want you to be careful. And this Rona is serious. Don't let anybody fool you to think it is not. It's serious. And so I just would prefer that you use wisdom and your intelligence and stay safe. Okay, so since nobody has any questions, I'm just going to keep on. How about that? So here's some of the things that I like to do to save money. If you know me, you know that I am not a loyalist. I will shop around until I find what I feel is the best deal for me. Now, I like to, on a regular basis, shop for car insurance. That may seem, weird that you don't have the same, that I don't have the same car insurance all the time. That may seem a little, weird, or, well, what kind of customer are you? I'm the kind of customer that I'm going to find the best deal for me. If I can have the exact same quality, I'm going to find that best deal for me and my family. So for car insurance, in our case, our car insurance was going to increase like to $500 a month. My husband got in a fault accident. It was his fault, though it wasn't. There was inclement weather, But because of that accident that he caused, or whatever, and he got a ticket behind it, our car insurance began to skyrocket. And so $500 a month for me, for two vehicles, for two, grown drivers, just was not ringing my bell. So I called the company to see what we could do to make amends. The company was willing to have our deductible to where we would pay more out of pocket. Now, in order for me to save money, then I would have to accept, that kind of offer. But I didn't feel comfortable, having the deductible higher, because I didn't want to then take the risk of having to pay more, said, if any one of us get an accident. I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I did start shopping around. Now, I didn't cancel the other insurance until I got new insurance. So don't just go around canceling your car insurance. Wait until you get approved for some new car insurance. But I did, look for some other car insurance. I found an insurance agent that is not tied to a specific company, but a broker that has access to a lot of different companies. And that broker was able to shop around for us to help us find the same quality of coverage that we had for a less expensive cost. And I tell you, that was the best thing that we could have ever done. In just a couple of hours, we had new car insurance with the same level of coverage that we had, but instead of $500 a month, we started paying less than $200 a month. Now, it was a little less if we, just got the policy for 6 months, at the time. And so I don't think I could write that check fast enough. I was so excited about the fact of us not having $500 worth of payments per month for the same coverage. So I went ahead and wrote that check, and, we still have that same coverage today. So it saved us so much money, and I'm so happy that we were able to do that. So I appreciate whoever car insurance you're with. I'm sure you love them, but I would recommend giving them a call and see if they have any specials, see if they have any reduced prices for you as, their loyal customer. But if they don't be afraid to shop around and get the same quality coverage that, you've been paying for, but it's an opportunity for you to actually have more money in your pocket. So that's another thing that I like to do to save money. I would say also, I would say maybe once a year, and especially at the end of every year, I go through my whole catalog of my expenses, and I like in myself ask the question, like, for real, do I need that? Do we really need this? And so sometimes my husband and son, they'll come downstairs. Hey, did you change the cable again? Because we can't get such and such channel. I don't know what to tell you, but the answer is yes. And yes, we're paying less. My husband goes, oh, okay. My son is like, oh, whatever, that's mom doing her again. But the whole point is to lessen our expenses to stuff that, things that we need, and try to eliminate stuff that we don't need. So yes, we do have a service for cable, but it is the bare bones minimum. And I think an extra channel for my mom. I mean, like it's not that elaborate. So no, we don't have, many of the paid channels. I just think they're a waste, especially if you, are participating with your Netflix or your Hulu or whatever. I try not to spend, a lot of money on TV entertainment. Let's just put it like that. So that's something that I look at on an annual basis. I also look at my phone bill, my phone carrier. I love who I'm with. I support who I'm with. They support veterans, so I'm going to support them. They also give us veterans discount. Sorry about that. And I love that and appreciate that. But, I'm always, looking to see if there's any costs that could be cut and still have the level of coverage and service that we need. So, look at that. Find out what specials that there are. If you're looking for an upgrade, see if there's an upgrade that is for you that can fit your budget. My son decided he wanted an iPhone. I've never owned an iPhone. I'm the only one in my family that has not owned an iPhone. But I'm like, it is not that serious because I don't want to spend that kind of money. But that's me, though. The only thing I'm using my phone for is posting with y'all. Let's see. I take some pictures, some videos, and then for the most part, I call and text. I don't need my phone. I'm not like a real gamer on my phone or anything like that. So, I'm not spending a lot of stuff on my phone. So yes, I have an Android. Talk bad about me if you want to, but my costs are super low. I only pay a few dollars a month for my phone. But the bottom line is my son wanted an iPhone. I really couldn't, say no to him, predicated on the fact that he did what I needed him to do for his academics. He did what I needed him to do for his sports. And he's generally a decent kid. You want to choke your child out every now and again, but that's an aside. But, based on the cost, here's the funny thing. For our son, we pay him commission. And so that's not an allowance. He don't just get the allowance, but he gets commission. So that includes, whatever dollars I designated that he earns for cleaning his room, for taking out the trash, for vacuuming the main area, stuff like that. Or loading the dishwasher. So if he does his chores weekly, then he gets paid. But if he does not do those things, he does not get said, dollar amount attached to it. But overall, he can earn up to $30 a month. So he decided that the iPhone was right for him when it was time for him to get a new phone. And so I actually gave him the choice. He knew that his chores equal up to about $30 a month. So then it was up to him what he wanted to spend. There was one iPhone that was going to give him, $10 a month. And then the other one was $5. He looked at both. He was like, well, I don't need two cameras. I really just need the one or two lenses, whatever they do. And I don't know. I'm an Android person. I have no idea what they're doing over there. But my son made like a lifetime decision, was like, I don't need two cameras. I just need the one. I'm going with the $5 one. So he knows that out of that $30, he can subtract $5 for his phone because that was the phone of his choice. And that's that. So really, it was up to him. He was like, I don't want to spend $10. That's what I'm talking about. It's simple things like that to say, can I survive with this thing? Or do I have to have the thing that costs more? Sometimes those small decisions are going to make so much difference. and you're actually going to find more money in your pocket if you're going to spend the money anyway. Spend it on things where, it provides value to you, but also find how you can spend it at a lower cost. So yes, I do go over my phone plan. I've cut some stuff off of our phone plan. My son is not very excited about the fact that I took off the hotspot. He's okay. He has a new phone now, so he doesn't have to worry about anybody's hotspot, because apparently the iPhone doesn't never lose. That's an aside. I'm not going to pick on iPhone. My son is happy with it. I'm fine. I haven't had any problems. So whatever. But, I don't have to worry about him complaining about not having service, like he did on his old phone. But so yes, I did cut out the hotspot. I feel like, and the funny thing is, I was the one that used it the most. I like listening to Skip and Shannon, when I'm hitting 95 and the HOV. I love listening to them, or to Colin Cowherd. I'm a sports junkie, so if you don't know who these people are and you're a sports junkie, you're wrong. But I love listening to these guys. But I had to, say, is it worth paying for, a hotspot when I could just record it at home and wait till I get home to watch it? So these are some things that I had to, in my mind, reconciliate, that I don't have to spend this money. So these are some things that I'm still practicing today. And I feel like, even though this is my profession, even though this is what I teach to others and help others, this is a lifestyle. This is nothing that, oh, I make such and such money, I have arrived. Absolutely not, because I want to keep the money that I do make in my pocket. And this is what we do. So all in all, these are just some things that we could do to put more money in our pocket. And as you do, you're able to withstand emergencies. You're able to stand, things that that happen, and that you don't have to worry about going into more debt. We're going to talk about debt later on this year, so stay tuned. But I want you to really grasp the concept that there's some simple, smart things that we could do to have more money in our pocket. So I personally believe that it's the individuals who are wealthy, they continue to practice this stuff too. And I'm not trying to get you to be to a point where you feel like you're rich. No, we need wealth. Rich is not enough. Rich is going to last your generation and not to pass down. Wealth, however, is something that can pass down to your kids, kids. And that's what we're talking about. So I'm not saying that, you doing some of these small things will create that generational wealth, but this is a key step, because if you don't get this kind of foundational information and start implementing it, then we won't get to some of the next levels that we're going to be talking about later. Well, I'm so excited that you were able to spend some time with me. It's been over 28 minutes already, and I always have fun with you guys. I always love being with you on Sippin Sundays. I sip my tea, you can sip your tea. You can learn something. You can find out how we can make these dollars make sense. I just love this time together. So here is where I will tell you some things that's happening with me. As you know, we've shut down, and I like being able to go out and meet people and ask them, look them in the face, how you think, they can need a financial coach. That's something that I've not been able to do for obvious reasons. But I have been so blessed to be able to get on this and be with you, and then also teach some virtual classes and summits and conferences. So that's been exciting. My business, the Financial T Coaching and Consulting Firm, is still growing. I'm super excited about this. It seems like individuals are even more hungry to get that personal coaching. So if you are ever interested in having me as your personal financial coach, I encourage that you go right to my website, or you can go to my Facebook page, or you can go to my Instagram. And if you see on Facebook or Instagram that book button, hit that and it'll take you right to my calendar so that you can get your free consultation with me. If you're a subscriber, you're going to get 30 minutes of free consultation. I know it says 15 on my calendar, but because you're a subscriber, you will get 30 minutes of free consultation with me. There's no strings. I want to hear what it is that you have to say concerning your finances, and then I can tell you exactly how I can serve you. If you decide that it's not for you, then that's okay. Just want to make sure that you do find somebody that can help you. And I just want to serve. And worst case scenario, you still walk away a little bit more educated than when we first started. You can always connect with me at Tina at The Financial T. That is Tina, Tina, at The Financial T, which is TheFinancial, the letter T.org. So that's my email address. You can also text me on 910-545-6510. That is my business phone. But then you can always go to my website, which is thefinancialt.org. That is TheFinancial, the letter T.org. So you can always connect with me. Well, here's our time together. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you about being here and just kicking it with me, just sipping some tea on a Sunday afternoon. I will see you though next month. Next month, we will start talking about where we can save. So I want you to be empowered to start saving and spend the next month on finding out how you can save a little bit more money. Next month, I'm going to tell you exactly where you can start putting it. And it's not in your mattress, so don't play me. It's not in your mattress. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you next month. In the meantime, I pray your safety, and please, 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 please love one another. All right. I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Now I got to figure out how to end this thing. Okay, there we go. Bye.